Good evening, everybody. I'm Pierre Roberge, the Daily Trader. It is July 10th, and we are going to take a look at Tesla, Palantir, Nvidia, Rivian, NextPeg, NIO from a technical analysis perspective. My goal in doing these videos is to help you understand how you can use technical analysis to make better trading and investing decisions. But I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research and make your own decisions. So that's 1.76%. Close at 269.61. Post-market, we seem to be down by a further 28 cents at 269.33. So let's look at what we have here on the chart. So we started a little bit of a downward channel for Tesla. This has been going on for the past 5 days, including today. We just gone over the weekend, so let's just recap a bit. So we are still in this short-term bullish channel. Short-term bullish channel since the beginning of this year. And within that, right now, a even shorter term, we are into a little bit of a downward channel. So we don't know how long it's going to last, but this is the trend that Tesla is currently in. So we are making lower highs. If we are looking at our candles, there's a pattern. We are really going down at this rate right here, the rate that is expressed by this downward diagonal red line, which we call a resistance. So this is the resistance, this is the support. Support means that the stock is higher than that. The resistance means that the stock cannot break that, so the stock is lower than the resistance. This is going down a little bit. Okay, nothing too serious right here. We have an important support at 265.53. Look at that support. It was very helpful in the past right here. It was helpful or less helpful as a resistance also. It was used a lot in the past. And we are using it again here. So it was a resistance right here. We broke it, but not too long. We came back into it. And then we broke it last week. And now we are just right smack on it. We are using the support perfectly today right here. Let's take a look at the 1-hour chart. So on the 1-hour chart, we talked over this weekend. My members and I had a weekly live on Sunday. So we were talking at length, I would say, about this here. The first candle of the day was right here. And we said that if we break below 273.79, then we would be most likely going down to 265.32. This is what happened. The first candle of the day looked promising. We opened higher. We opened at 276. We thought that things would be picking up a little bit, but no. First hour came straight down and came back up a little bit. And the second and third hour finished us. So we stopped at 265.32. Since then, we have been bouncing a little bit. So that's the good news. We are bouncing on 265.32. We don't have stochastic over 60 yet. So this little bit of a move up is not to be believed. We should not believe this, and we could be going even lower. The stock is not ready. The stock is not ready to go higher again. We don't see any evidence of the stock going higher. This little bit of a move up right here is not to be believed so far. We need to have more evidence than that. Basically, this is where we are at. So in terms of the indicators on the 1-hour chart, everything is negative because of what has been happening today and also a little bit on Friday. We started seeing signs of weakening. Let's go back on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, let's look at our indicators. So we have stochastic at 76. MACD, we have the breakover bearish. We have RSI that is no longer overbought. It's still bullish. It's no longer overbought. And we identified on Sunday a divergence right here. So we see that RSI is making a lower high while Tesla is making a higher high. So in technical analysis, this means that eventually we should be seeing a move down for Tesla. In terms of DMI, which is a long-term indicator, this is still very bullish because this is looking at the past 21 days. So the past 21 days, where we are right now from the past 21 days is pretty bullish indeed. This afternoon at 3:15 approximately. So there is going to be a rebalance of the NASDAQ 100. NASDAQ 100, which is an index which contains Tesla and a bunch of other tech stocks. And these tech stocks have been going up super high this year. So NASDAQ 100 is up 37% this year, blah, 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 blah. And some of these tech stocks have different weight on the index. So Microsoft represents 12.9% of the index. Tesla represents 4.5%. And NASDAQ's rules state that if all stocks with a weighting of more than 4.5% in the index exceed 48%, then NASDAQ rebalances the indicator. I am not a specialist of this. I'm just reading that news and trying to understand it. But what I gather from that is that the stock that have a weighting of 4.5% should not represent more than 48% in value. This seems to have been triggered. So NASDAQ 100 will rebalance its index. It will decrease the representation of the tech stocks that we have been talking about. This could have an impact because the mutual funds that are basing their own funds on NASDAQ 100 will have to readjust their own purchases in order to keep the same weighting for Tesla and for Microsoft and for the others. If NASDAQ rebalances Tesla lower, representing less than 4.5% of the index, then all the other funds that are mimicking the NASDAQ 100 will need to also sell some Tesla shares to keep the same ratio of Tesla's weight within their own fund that replicates the NASDAQ 100. So basically, we could be having a sell-off. Of those funds because of that rebalance. So we don't know exactly what is going to be the extent of the effect, but it's just a very interesting information to keep in the back of our heads. We are still going to make decisions based on support lines and resistance lines. We are still going to use that, but it's always interesting to understand a little bit what is going on. Let's take a look at some Tesla news. Carvana released its top 10 list of best-selling used EVs through the first half of 2023, and here's the look. So guess which car is on the top? Yes, Tesla Model 3, best-selling used EV on Carvana. Of course. Also, Tesla Gigafactory Mexico could get final permit any day, government official says. So the governor said, we do not yet have a date for when, but the good news is that all the permits for the environment, energy, water, everything is already checked. It is advancing. So at any moment, we are going to give them the news that the first stone is being laid. For translation, what we have of information is that right now they are already in the final stage of the design of the new car. A new model, which is going to be, as far as we know, the best electric and economic car in the world, and it is going to be a milestone. So that's the $25,000 car. So yes, with the design finished, what we know is that they are already finishing the production lines, the software and everything that must be ready to start the plant. So that's great news. Another gigafactory that is going to start being maybe built this year should be ready next year at the same date. Fantastic. So as mentioned, Tesla was going to put an Optimus robot in some Tesla stores to attract people. So basically, this has already started. So people can see the Tesla Optimus robot in the New York Tesla store. So if you are in the area, just go take a look. Okay, let's look at the VIX a little bit. So VIX is going up 0.24, so closed at 1506. So we really see an uptrend with the VIX. VIX is in an uptrend, so it's making higher lows and higher lows. Yeah, we are not too happy with this. We like when the VIX is really down and stays down. But right now we need to deal with reality, and reality is that it's slowly starting to go up. We don't have stochastic over 60 yet. Stochastic is at 53, going higher and higher. We know that when we have stochastic at 60 and over, then we have much more chances of seeing the pattern continue. Let's take a look at Rivian. So Rivian, after having a wonderful week last week, it's going even higher today. So we are up 81 cents, 3.28%, closed at 25.51. Closed at 25.51, so that's pretty good. Look at the volume right here. In terms of the volume, we had the biggest volume ever on Friday. Well, I think we have the second biggest volume ever also today. This is a relative cool down, but we are still inching higher and higher. So still very impressive for Rivian. XPeng, this is pretty much going sideways. This is going sideways on paper because of the close, but basically we are making a lower high and making a lower low. So we still are into a very small downward channel on this one. And to finish off with the EVs, let's look at NIO. I am especially fond of NIO personally because of a personal experience with the stock. So basically, I was following NIO right here. Right here in May of 2020, I was following it very closely. And the same thing, the same rule that I always tell you, always apply. Break of a downward resistance, then you need to find the corresponding horizontal resistance. When you have a break of that with a good stochastic, this is your in. Yeah, I had a really nice run with this one. I entered at $7 with 1,000 shares and sold at around 40 something when it started to show signs of weakness right here. This was a nice run. And this goes to show that we should not hold a stock when it's in a downtrend, because I would have lost everything that I gained because it went down. It went down for a couple of years, but now it seems like it wants to pick back up. So this is why I'm talking about this. EV stocks have a great growth potential. I like to talk about stocks that have great growth potential. So it's not only in the EV market, Nvidia and things like that, but also the biotech. If you have stocks for me to look at, I think that our goal here is to make our money work for us. We work hard for our money, and if our money could work for us, then that would be a double whammy. So basically, I am looking for stocks that have great potential, and we should always use technical analysis in order to enter into a stock and also to know when to sell. Because again, case in point here, if I enter here and hold it until here, I did nothing with my money. That's pretty sad. It's better to buy low, sell high, and then wait while the stock goes low again to buy again when it's low, and not buy all the time. This could work, but it would require the stock to go super high again. As with my philosophy, I got in here, I sold here, and I don't care if the stock ever goes back up. If it goes back up, then I might join back in again. But if it does not, I'm still good. So right now, we have a very interesting resistance at 1072 that we just broke. We just broke that today, and we are into this small bullish channel. We could have been stuck into this congestion zone, but we just broke above it. You can do your own research, you make your own decisions, but this is looking pretty good. The only bad thing here, the only risky thing here is that we are so close to this upward resistance. So, we could be caving into this one before going back to the support again and do a real nice swing right there. So just play your cards accordingly. Palantir, another little milestone for Palantir. We were into this downward channel a little bit. We came out of it, and then we got stuck into this congestion zone at 1581. We just broke it today. So we closed at 1630, up 96 cents for 6.25%. So that is pretty nice. So basically, we are making a new bullish channel right here. Again, we are close to the resistance, so we could be having a little bit of a pullback. Or if it's strong enough, it could just go through also. So that's always possible. And just remember that we are still into a big downward channel for Palantir. Just like Tesla, we should be careful until 1780 or something. We should be careful as to what is happening because it could reverse at any point. But once we break that, then it should move a little bit faster. Nvidia, this one is struggling right now. This one is really struggling. So we are down $3. And see how this resistance is important right here. Downward resistance, we cannot break it. We just cannot break it. Stochastic is weakening and weakening. So we are at 72. It's not too bad, 72. It needs to be above 60 to still have some potential of moving up. But we should just watch this one because we are just close to breaking our support right here. So I will say this is a little bit disappointing for Nvidia. We had a nice gap up and we had the continuation of that move up, but now it's slowing down. PayPal, okay. PayPal is stronger. PayPal is stronger and stronger. So we just broke our downward resistance, the second resistance we had. So the only thing that we need to clear is 71.07. So if we clear that, then we should be good to go for a nice little run. So we are up $2.49, 3.73%, closed at 69.28. And let me go faster through QQQ and all of the indices. QQQ going sideways, Dow Jones rebounding nicely on 33638, S&P 500 bouncing on support, Nasdaq Composite also. Physical gold, nothing to see here yet, still under its downward, it's two downward resistance. Silver, it's not going sideways. We need to break 802. Bitcoin getting stronger and stronger. So this is our congestion zone. Look at how easy it is to see this. Bitcoin has not gone lower than 29,799 and has not gone higher than this line here. It's just going sideways. When it breaks 39,388, then it will go somewhere. Ripple, nothing to see here. It has no strength. And US dollar is plunging. We just stopped on this support right here. We'll see what the rest of the week tells us. And last but not least, our NIO battery materials on the Canadian stock is inching higher. So we are up 2 cents, 5.26%. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you like what I do, you can become a YouTube member. Click on my TradingView affiliate link. I'm going to wish you a great evening. We are going to talk tomorrow and I'm going to tell you à la prochaine.